Good evening, sir. Please, in a situation where the boss is not saying anything while cutting clothes, how do a beginner learn? Or should I look for somewhere else and forget the money I paid? Since October last year that I started, she hasn't taught me the parts of a machine. Tape reading is only online that I learn most of the things I know now. Good morning, sir. How are you doing? I am the lady that asked you question on your Facebook page yesterday. I paid for 1 year training since last year, October, but honestly, I have not learned anything from this lady. Despite the age difference between us, I respect and do my work in her shop very well. All she asked me to do is to iron cloth and then put stone in finished cloths. I now replied and I said, "Good morning. Who recommended you to who recommended her to you? How did you get to know her?" She said, if she's cutting clothes, she won't say anything. When she finish, she will ask any questions. That's so funny. Then she now replied and said, her neighbor in Jalingo. Now, this right here is an example of what most young upcoming fashion designers undergo in the hands of their bosses. Most of these bosses, they do this intentionally, while some don't know how to teach. So they don't know how to impact knowledge on the upcoming fashion designers. But my question here is, one, before you accept to take a student, you must have known the requirements that you should possess or the requirements on ground for you to be able to impact on these students. You should be able to explain in detail. You should be patient enough. You should be accommodating. You should have that spirit of impacting knowledge. Now, there are two different things here. To know how to sew is different from knowing how to teach. It's a two different factor. So now, when you know that you sew very well, but you don't know how to teach, it is going to be very easy for you to state it clearly that you don't teach. You can only mentor. So someone who comes to your place to learn must already know the basic knowledge of fashion designing. So what he or she might be needing will be seeing you do complex designs, and she will now understand by mere seeing. There are different methods of learning. You learn by hearing, by seeing, and by doing. These three things must be in play for you to have an effective learning: by seeing, by hearing, and by doing. That's practical. Now, there are some things you will need to learn by just mere seeing it. There are things you will need to learn by just mere hearing it. There are things you need to learn by doing it by yourself. Because, for example, you have learned how to sew a trouser and you have not done it physically by yourself, you have not learned that trouser. It's only when you learn how to, it's only when you do it by yourself that you have learned it. Now, you can hear formulas, like formulas of how to get armhole, crotch, neckline, any other areas of formulas that you are looking for. If you hear them, you can say you have learned it because you had it from somewhere. And lastly, by reading as well. So now, reading is the seeing, right? Now, it's part of the seeing. Now, when you are a newbie, you cannot learn by just seeing. It's not possible. It will take you years to learn that thing by just seeing, because your brain needs to process those things you are seeing into a knowledge that it understands or translates. You understand? So, if you know you don't know how to teach, please don't take new students. Take those that came for upgrade classes, those that came for mentorship, those that just want to see you sew. There are people that they have learned how to sew, but they don't know how to do finishing. So they can come and watch you do your work and learn it by mere seeing. So those are the kind of people that you need to be taking, and not people that doesn't know how to even match the machine. That's number one. Then number two, for the students going to enroll in fashion schools, fashion homes, fashion outlets, anywhere you want to learn tailoring or fashion designing, there are some things you should look out for. One, their previous students. Now, I understand that people might just start up today and they are good enough to teach, to impart knowledge, right? Now, if they don't have previous records, that means they are just new in the field. They are just new in teaching, which is not a bad thing. You can still enroll, but you have to know the eagerness the person has in imparting knowledge to the student, because we will not be when after paying, someone can no longer explain things to you. That means your money you have paid there is a waste, right? I have someone that is in my place now. She has stayed for 8 months in some other outlets. My dear, she had not even learned how to cut a dress, common cutting. But she came to my place under 1 month. She had made a top and a trouser under 1 month, even within 1 month. You get? So it's all about zeal to impact knowledge. It's not everybody that owns a shop knows how to teach. You understand? So that's why most people have upper hands in some areas. So if you want to go out to enroll in a place, make sure you check out one, previous students, two, social media handles. Check the comment sections, those feedbacks you get on your pages. Check the online presence. Now, every good designer now should have a video, or even if it's a 2 minute clip where he or she is trying to explain things to someone. And then you look out for if the video is clear enough for you to understand. And then lastly, before you pay, ask for a week grace, 1 week grace, for you to be around the fashion shop to see how things are being done, right? Or you can even pay and tell the person that after 1 week, that if you're satisfied with what you are seeing, you will continue staying. If you're not, you will go. As simple as that. Reach an agreement with the person, or say 1 month, right? I also have a guy that has stayed with one guy, I think for 3 months, 4 months, though he was learning but he was not learning the much he could have learned under me. So when he came, he was very happy. And when he came, our agreement was, if you stay 1 week and you don't get value of what you have paid for, I'll give you back your money and you will go, because everybody needs to get the value of whatever they have paid for in anything you are doing in life. So it's just like when you go to hospital, you're having headache and you paid a huge sum of money for a doctor to treat you, and at the end of the whole duration you stay in the hospital, the issue or the sickness is still there. You will not be happy. You will not be happy. That's the truth. You will not be happy, because you'll be like, what is the essence of paying money when I cannot be healed once the sickness is medically related and not a spiritual one? So you must get the value of what you have paid for. Even when you go to buy drugs, and you see that that drug is not working, no matter the price amount you bought the drug, you'll still be angry that you have wasted money on buying this fake drug. So now, this has to deal with all our activities in life. When you paid for a service, you should get the quality of the whatever you have paid for. So for the students, please look out for social media handles, look out for previous jobs, look out for give the negotiation that you need a month or a week or 2 weeks grace for the person to vet if he or she can teach. Now, anybody or anyone who is boldly good in teaching will not have issues in giving you a week grace or whatever duration you might be asking for. You get? So he might be asking you or telling you, I know, I don't do that. This is a fashion school. This is a fashion, whatever it is. Yes, and you respect their businesses and you respect their decisions, but you're also scared to part away with your money without getting the value in return. So this will give you guys a ground of understanding to be able to align properly. So now what happens when you find yourself in this situation? What do you need to do? For example, if you had already fallen victim of this before you get to see this video, and then what do you need to do? Now, you have two options. One is to call the attention of your boss. Say, please, ma, or please, sir, I don't understand what I've been doing here for the past duration you have stayed? Please, that is it how teaching is done? That you think teaching should be something that you explain in detail, even if it's not every day, at least twice a week, 3 times a week is ideal. At least you have a lecture day that today, Wednesdays, Mondays, or Thursdays is for lectures. You teach your students in detail everything they need to do or know. Now, when you draw his or her attention to this issue at hand, and you watch his or her response to this, and if he's being, okay, sorry, I will change or I will do better, fine, you can stay back. But if you start making man, no, it's not how it's been done, no, it's not how I was taught, right? Somebody cannot suffer for what he doesn't know. That your former boss taught you in that manner should not subject you to teach someone else in that same manner as well. You should do better. That's why you're a human being. Those things that you did not learn from your boss, or the way you did not like your boss for doing you, don't do it to the same person, to the next person. You have to do better in order to make the world a better place. When I went to learn how to sew, my boss does not do armhole calculation. He doesn't do neckline. He doesn't do all those things I do now. He just look at the fabric, look at the person's size, and then guess whatever he does. And he doesn't explain how the guessing came about. He'll just be like, okay, if the neck is 17, do it 2.3 now and 2.5. I'll be like, why? How is it 2.3? He doesn't know how the 2.3 came about. It was one personal decision to go further to know why it's 2.3 and 2.8 or 2.5. So by so doing, I now made more findings. So when you have gotten to this stage, call the attention of your madam or your boss. Please explain to him or her what you are feeling and watch his or her response. If he or she is willing to change or to do better, you can give him or her the grace. But if he starts being defensive, it will be advisable that you quit. And in quitting, you need to ask for a refund. Now, a refund should not be a total refund. It should be like, half of it, or however you and the person agreed or agrees. So when you have that refund, you now add up money and go to somewhere else to enroll. But then when you are going to enroll in somewhere else, make sure such mistakes does not repeat itself again. You need to be more careful now and more observant. Then what happens when you get your refund and you could not get somewhere else to learn or anywhere else you want to enroll? I think you need to change your location, because most times those good designers might not be in the primitive areas like the villages. You need to come out to the town area to get anything you are looking for. So when you now move to a more developed area, you tend to get the value of your money. Another thing as well you need to also observe is the amount that you pay, because the amount you pay has a lot to say about the quality of knowledge you will get. I'm not trying to say that the amount is subject to quality training, quality knowledge, no, but it's also a factor to checkmate what you should expect in return, right? If you go to a fashion brand, a fashion designing school, wherever you want to go, and the amount is a bit low, you should be expecting something of this nature. But for someone who knows his or her onions, who knows what he or she is doing, the amount should be relatively expensive, because a lot of factors are considered in teaching or in charging students to enroll in your outlet. So I believe this video will give you an insight on how to navigate through these whole processes. So do well to comment, share your experience when you learned or how you are teaching, and also give your recommendations or add more insights to this video in the comment section. I'll be going around the comment section to read from you guys and also learn. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye bye for now.